Thank you, Basia. Thank you, Łukasz, for introducing us. So yeah, indeed, we are continuing ERG topic. And together with me, we have fantastic jury members. The main goal for this session is to have this ERG Excellence Award Gala. But before that, I just wanted to spend some time in a valuable way discussing with my panelists, dear colleagues from jury. And definitely we have limited time, but I hope it won't be fast food. I hope it will be just freshly squeezed juice, vitamin juice, with hints, tips, and recommendations. So let me introduce Magda Bukała, Akamai. Magda organizes, supports global ERGs in her organization by orchestrating their efforts. Great to have you here, Magda.
Thank you so much.
And Darek from State Street Bank. Also, Darek coordinates global networks. Darek is also a DEI expert. So based on your fantastic experiences, that was the natural that we have invited you to be our jury for the ERG Excellence Award. So thank you once again. So I just wanted to highlight a few aspects when it comes to the importance, the impact of the ERG activities. So Magda, I just wanted to start with a question about contributing, their contribution, the overall one, to the company culture and the work environment. How do you perceive that from your perspective? How our ERG master chefs are important to the organization?
Great question. So it depends. They can be either very important or not important at all. It depends if they are done right. So definitely things that I would recommend is staying close to the organization. That's the first thing. But for me, employee resource groups can be really critical in creating the strategy of the whole organization, at least in three aspects. So the first one for me would be the employee engagement, because naturally, as we, at least the three of us definitely know for our experience and work with the employee resource groups, ERGs are creating meaningful opportunities for the people. So we have they create a sense of community, but also they engage people, actively engage them through workshops, webinars that they put together. The second thing will be business development. I don't know if you also have this experience, but from my own background, it seems to me that most of the ERG leaders never had the actual experience of working with people or managing the team. So this can be very often their first encounter with actually managing a group of other leaders. So it's a great development opportunity. And third thing is business impact. We would want to have more of it. I think this is kind of, sometimes it's quite lacking still because it differs from company to company, but in my opinion, the closer we get to the actual business reasoning, the business purpose of the employee resource groups, we can show a great value add. And so if we can really talk about the business impact, I would definitely focus on making sure that that the organization brings in the actual problems that can be solved from the employee resource groups. And there's a huge opportunity to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So from that perspective, Darek, would you like to add something?
Yeah, because you asked about this, what impact ERGs have on culture. And what I really like about ERGs is that, ERGs are not just talking about inclusion diversity, they're living it, right? Ensuring that the culture is not just a reflection of the differences, but the celebration of them. Yeah. And that way they not only influencing culture, but they also shape on it, right? By bringing something that I really like about employee networks, that they bring authenticity, right? They bring authenticity to all the inclusion diversity actions they run.
Yeah, definitely. So it's something that also is worth mentioning is that those activities of ERG activities are a great way to increase the sense of belonging. The sense of belonging that also includes comfort, connection, yeah, contribution to the organization, when you can feel yourself, truly yourself. Yeah? And while working with our clients, when it comes to my experience from ERG Center, is that the ERG is a fantastic way to address all those aspects when the ERG do have real impact to the comfort, because they may do something about that. Connection is the best way to find a friendly person in the organization, which is very important from even statistic perspective, that only 1/3 of people in the organization do have friends, but 4 times more they're keen to stay in the organization, even if they are less paid than on the market. So it's really important note, I think. Great. So I think that it's the most important thing is that it's shaping. Yeah, it's something that is a real impact. Derek, let me move to the support for the organization for ERG on daily basis. I'm meaning here about the leaders, not the ERG leaders, but leaders of the organization. How they can support?
Well, the example set by leaders is paramount, right? So participation in events, the D&I events, also attendance at events, like visible support to all the inclusion diversity actions, really send the powerful message throughout the organization. However, I think that leaders can champion ERGs rather by actively advocating for the importance, right, for the importance of ERGs, but also integrating, the ERG initiatives with the broader organizational strategies, like highlighting that this is diversity that is, central to achieving our collective goals, I mentioned that they should advocate for ERG's importance, but they also have to understand it, right?
Yeah.
And it cannot be just a checkbox. The support cannot be just a checkbox. It has to be like strategy decision, like followed by, budgetary allocations, the resources, like everything that empower ERGs, to make this meaningful impact. And I think the crucial here is also the role of executive sponsors. And I know, Monica, that you are the expert in this field, so I'm happy to hear also your comments. But for me, like appointing executive sponsor, is instrumental. It is instrumental to for bridging the gap between ERGs and also the executive team. Because it opens door for collaboration at the highest level. But here again, the sponsorship cannot be just symbolic. It cannot be just checkbox. It should be contribution to ensure that ERG's objectives align also organizational objectives.
Yeah, and I think it's a voluntarily based, let's say, assignment. It's much better, and this is what we also heard from the ERG sponsors while working with them on the spotlights sessions, that they want to hear and be part of the dialogue with the ERG leaders, members, to understand their real needs, what you mentioned just. And I think Anna mentioned in the previous part that we should be close with the sponsor should be close with the ERG. Definitely, what is also worth mentioning here, Magda, let me ask that question to you as well. But Derek, you mentioned also about meaningful activities. How we can ensure the ERGs are making meaningful projects? It's not just a formality. What to do that our restaurant, the ERG restaurant, do have the Michelin stars?
Michelin stars, okay. Well, I think that ERG should, first of all, they should actively listen to business needs, right? Because by understanding the challenges, by understanding priorities of the organization, they're able to tailor the initiatives, having this impact, right, that is direct, but it's also meaningful, that is, relevant to the business needs. So I would say that the key lies here in the synergy between strategic planning within ERGs, and this actively the ability to active listen of business needs and also the ability to respond to them. And I think that this approach ensures that ERGs are not only, they not only exist as a symbol of inclusion and diversity, but they also have contribution on the organizational structures, so successes. I think that the strategy and planning, that enables ERGs to move beyond the symbolic gestures, right? And by that having this meaningful impact. Also on organizational culture, right, that we just discussed. But you ask about this Michelin star, and I started to think, do I really need, as a employee network, as an ERG leader, do I really need to aspire for the star, like Michelin star? And I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I'm not sure if it's a good motivation, is it a good priority, you know what I mean? Because Monica, I know you're little, I know that your expectations are really high, but we also know the reality, and together with Magda, we work with employee networks on a daily basis, and we know that they struggle with implementing all the activities due to the various reasons, right? That might be lack of resources, that might be lack of active members. So I'm not sure if I would go to employee network leaders saying that they should aspire for the Michelin star, but I think this is what I found really useful. If we use this, restaurant metaphor, I would say visit other restaurants that were already recognized by Michelin, right? Just to check what they do so well that they deserve this recognition, and try to adapt it in your restaurant, or even do it better, right? So this is the message I would go with to the employee networks, saying, or encouraging them to connect with other employee networks that were successful, just to check if there is anything that they can learn from them. But yeah, you know how it is with restaurants, that the best recipes, they keep secrets. So I don't know if that might work.
And this is why we organize the awards, the ERG Excellence Award, and the gala that is coming soon. So this is the place to share those recipes in the way that you want to share. So great, thank you, Darek, for your comment. And Magda, over to you. Should the ERG activity, are the ERG activities minor or major within the D&I agenda in the organization? Is it just broad for soup, so something really basic, or it's just as a salted pepper at the end?
That's a great question. So reflecting on what Darek said, I would probably change the approach a bit, because I would say reach for the stars and try to do your best job. And to do that, I probably wouldn't recommend going externally as far. I would rather say go deep and really make sure that the ERGs are solving the business problems that your organization has. So in my opinion, if, for example, as many of the companies right now are facing the problem of diverse hiring and recruitment, I would just link the solution with the work of the employee resource groups and just ask the members of the ERGs to reach out to their communities, bring in the resumes, and just help in that regards. Or also something that is piloted right now in my company is this great project that is allowing the candidates who have not yet joined the company to really reach out to the ERG leaders of their choice, and then ask them to participate in the job interview. And the ERG leaders are not going to be, decisive if someone is going to join the workforce or not. But what they're going to do is that they're going to say, how does it feel to be a member of the LGBTQ plus community joining Akamai? How does it feel to be a parent at Akamai? Which I think just really links the culture, gives this extra flavor already during the job interview. So I would definitely recommend
the real example. Real example, very authentic, what Darek mentioned. And definitely it's high time to show such real examples within our ERG Excellence Award Gala. So drums roll.